You know that feeling when you haven't changed bass strings in, God, about 10 years minimum? Yeah. It's not plugged in, so the pick will be louder than the bass itself. Because like, fuck am I gonna finger pick this? I don't want blisters for the rest of my day. I've got a work day to get through, guys. Anyway, so I just thought I'd use this particular instrument because when I've been like talking about like the big games that I played start to finish, they've been narrative games, they've been, let's be honest, all RPGs. But of course, it's me. I'm a scatterbrain, and I play loads of games which you can't really finish. So I thought I'd take a minute to talk about what I have been playing that hasn't been all the RPGs and things, although I probably should be playing more Star Ocean 3. Not Star Ocean 3, Star Ocean 2. But when I finish Star Ocean 2, maybe I should do a proper go at Blue Sphere. Although I should probably finish Warsong at some point. Anyway. So what have I been playing? So yesterday I played Battle Arena Toshinden a load. It was Battle Arena Toshinden 3. Fucking hell, what a mouthful that is. And although it doesn't play like my favourite 3D fighting game. Yeah, it doesn't play like my favourite 3D fighting game, so it's not... Well, basically, it's not Tekken or Dead or Alive or Bloody Rule or one of the Soul Caliburs / Soul Blade. So, I mean, that's basically all of the good 3D fighting games, I guess. Apart from like the 2 or 3 that Capcom made, but I'm not that familiar with those ones anyway. So the thing about Battle Arena Toshinden 3 is that it's more of an attempt at doing proper 3D fighting. You know, they try to use the 3D dodge a bit more. But it's not really much more than like... It's like saying that Fatal Fury is a 3D fighter because it's got the lane system, you know. But, fucking hell, that's doing my wristing, isn't it? What was that about? So basically, graphics-wise, it's fine for the time. It's 1997, so it's a polygonal 3D, but it's very, very, very polygonal. I personally prefer the sort of more solid, blocky setup that you see in the likes of Tekken. Whereas I feel like the fact that characters in there tend to have looser clothing and generally by design hides what the polygons are like. Whereas, for example, I mostly played as... I can't even remember his name. Out of the 2 protagonist swordmen, I remember one of them's Eiji. He's the one who isn't Eiji. He's the one who's meant to be a European guy with a longsword, I suppose. But not the guy that has the massive Zweihander. So yes, anyway, point being is that you can see the segmenting in his legs because they've designed the character to have skinny jeans. And so when he kicks and so on, and when he poses, you can see the segmenting going on. and that is awkward, visually speaking. Apart from that, though, perfectly fine. Nice and snappy, and that's what you want from that kind of game. It's set with combo strings, and predominantly they're quite simple ones. So you'd be able to like do a few hits with you'd be able to do a few hits with a light, and then just by hitting the same button multiple times, and then cancel into special moves. I think I managed to work out how the supers work, and it just seems to be hit all the buttons all at once your meter goes up. So yeah, I mean, that's how the system works, and it feels responsive, it feels quite fun. I didn't play it on a high difficulty. I don't know if it's like going to be prone to that sort of... Don't know if it's going to be prone to that sort of difficulty jump that old fighting games tended to have, you know. So yeah, that's that, isn't it? So yes, that's Ballerina Toshinden. That's one of the games I've been playing. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, like, if you're interested in fighting games in general, yeah, it's a good time killer. I would over it in terms of, like, its sort of general vibe, because it's a dash about combo strings sort of game. Bloody Roar 2, by far, just the best example of that on the system. So if you're wanting to play a 3D PS1 fighting game which isn't a Virtua Fighter alike, because I'd say like Tekken and Dead or Alive are both very clearly taking their instructions from Virtua Fighter. I would say, yeah, no, go for I'd go for Bloody Roar 2 over Ballerina Toshinden, honestly. And if you wanted a weapon-based fighter specifically, that was in 3D Soul Blade, but if you're limited to PS1, go for Soul Blade. But if you're playing on anything that can play Dreamcast and above, Soul Calibur's just there, guys, and it's just amazing. Okay, so what else have we played? So I recently tried out Jack Bros. Didn't record it for the pod because I didn't think I could make it interesting. And also, I'm going to say, if you are going to be emulating anything from the Visual Boy, change the graphics. Because everything looked blue after I'd stared at the bright red light. Just fucked up my eyes for a good half hour. I didn't even play that long. Which is a shame because, like, as pixel graphics go, the Virtual Boy is actually really quite phenomenal for its time, you know? But I would say play it in grayscale, or if you have, like, options to change the palette. I know that the 3DS does Virtual Boy quite well, actually, and you can use they've done an emulator where you can use the 3D function of a 3DS to simulate the 3D effects of a Virtual Boy. And I know that that particular program is capable of changing the color palette. And I would say something a bit less harsh than bright red. Gameplay-wise, Jack Bros, it was fine. It didn't really engage me that much. Yeah, this is why, like, when I played bass in bands, I only played bass in, like, prog bands. It would be like... Because of pick. I'm not a funky person. So it was always like, yeah, I'm going to play it just like it's regular guitar. Isn't that interesting and different? Christ, blowing out the speakers, man. Played Outrun, but not regular Outrun. Regular Outrun is absolutely fantastic, and I recommend it to everyone. And actually, this particular version of Outrun was I can't remember the name of the fucking year on the end of it. It's the sci-fi one. You're in like a weird Batmobile kind of car, and it's really good. It feels great. It's the same game, but it's sci-fi cars, and there's more bridges involved for you to fly off of them into water, which is less ideal. Quite tricky. But if you like Outrun, you'll like that one just fine. It's not as good a feeling as Outrun. Outrun just feels like absolute freedom, whereas going in like a Batmobile around like the cities from Akira, you're going around Neo Tokyo in a sci-fi car. It's not quite as... I think regular Outrun, I think the pure optimism of regular Outrun is a bit superior, honestly. But there's nothing really to talk about in terms of like, what else is there? It's a driving game, you drive, it's really fun, it's a good time. I feel like I've already talked enough about Devil's Crush and like pinball games in general. If you have the means to play Devil's Crush, you could do worse for pinball games, honestly. But it's from a period of pinball games I quite like. I think 2D pinball games are quite good, and it's got like the scrolling's good. You can use the ball to like kill monsters, and there's boss battles. It's a pinball game with boss battles. That's pretty good, and it runs better than Pokemon Pinball. I'm very sorry, Pokemon Pinball is not actually that good. Although I have yet to play the Game Boy Advance version of Pokemon Pinball. That one might be absolutely amazing. But Game Boy Color Pokemon Pinball is just not quite there. I'm in the upstairs office, which is why I'm on the bass. Well, all my other guitars are up here that aren't that red for reader. I say for reader as if you'd know what for reader is. For reader make copy guitars. They had an exclusive deal with Dawson's in the early to mid 2000s. Dawson's are a music shop, as in instrument shop over in the UK. And so you get a for reader, and so you get something like my Telecaster copy, and it's better than the 300. It's a fraction of the price of like the Fender that it's copying. Obviously, like of a proper one, but it's also a fraction of the price of the Learner Fender, and it's pretty good. I mean, I like my Telecaster copy, but I'm not really a gear person. I've got a multi-effects somewhere, and that little amp that's downstairs in my office and my wife's one, I can get crazy soundscapes out of it just with that and this bass, just by fucking around with feedback. It's really fun. Genuinely recommend it if you've got something that won't explode. If your equipment is prone to explosions, like my stepfather's equipment was when I was learning guitar, don't do that sort of thing. But if your stuff won't explode, then do that. God. Oh, fucking hell. I'm not going to talk about Fable. I'm not going to talk about Fable. I'm not going to talk about Fable. I'm not going to talk about the fact that the following two games were better. Not going to talk about Fable and the improved game feel, but the shite plot. I think that's sort of the problem. Oh, it's turned into a Fable review, hasn't it? So I think that's the problem. See how they run. 3 blind mice. 3 blind mice. See how they run. See how they run. 3 blind mice. 3 blind mice. See how they run. Who fucking cares? Fable 2 and 3. Fuck it, I'll do it here. And that's my impression of Fable. Fuck me. Like, Fable 2 and 3 are definitely the definition of where everyone was fed up of Peter Molyneux's shit. Because they have a really good foundation of a game, both of them. Fable 2 by far the superior in the whole series, as far as I've played it so far. Superior game, just because it pulls things together the most cohesively. It still has that vibe of Fable 1 where it's plot light for the most part. Like, there is stuff going on, but really, like, it's not overburdened, and there is a relative amount of freedom to it. Obviously, all the systems and things that were like great innovations for Fable 1, basically the fact that to win the game, just become a landlord. Like, yeah, all that stuff, the way that characters behave, yeah, actually, they have got more personality in all the games than, like, a Bethesda game. But there aren't the deep plots of a Bethesda game, are there? There's not... Like, there is stuff. There are things there, and it's fun. And it is genuinely a fun time. But... I don't know. The plot, the fighting is better. The fighting is better. You can move between your different modes of combat better, and actually, it's a steady progression. Fable 3, by far, has the best combat and the best feeling combat. But that one, it falls flat because everything feels like it's so much smaller than it should be. It feels like it's held together with sticky tape. It feels like... Is this game that I still have yet to play and I really want to, called Gator Game. I think it's Gator Game. I'm fairly sure I've listened to Troy play it because it's absolutely adorable, and I really want to get around to buying it and playing it at some point, where the whole thing is that this whole community is in on the joke, and that, like, it's cardboard swords and so on. Fable 3 feels like that. Fable 3 feels like it's an elaborate setup by the kingdom so that they can amuse these toffs. Because, like, at the end, like, it's meant to be a cataclysmic battle, and it just feels like nothing, It feels minuscule. It feels minuscule for its time and place. I end up looking at it, and it's bad, because I know for a fact it's HD gaming, and I know the ridiculous amount of work that goes into that. But I feel like it's not done effectively. It doesn't have a kind of visual design that looks good for what it is, and it feels old in a way that other games of its generation do not. If you look at Dragon's Dogma, if you look at Demon Souls, and you look at these things which look cohesive and look like, because they are of a piece with themselves, they age better. I don't feel like Fable does that. I think that Fable sort of, the cracks show, especially character models, especially character animations, and that's been in all of them, you know. But I know for a fact that in a few years my wife will get the itch to play them again, and we'll probably play through the whole lot again, and I'll have a really good time. So I don't really know. There's things about it which I notice and take me out of it, and it's not the same experience like I had. So like games recently that I had amazing experiences with, things like Earthbound. You know, playing through that all the way through for the first time was like an actual like emotional moment. And I don't know, like the kind of fun that I have with the likes of Fable is the same kind of fun that I have with arcade games, and I can just play them. I can just pick them up whenever. You know? I don't feel like I'm being manipulated. I don't know. I should probably wiggle my mouse so it doesn't look like I've gone on a proper break, because I need to actually go on a proper break later to pick up small children from places of education. Right. Oh, fuck's sake. I'm absolutely terrible at bass these days. I used to be pretty good at prog, though, by which I mean like playing bass not like you're meant to, having a lead guitarist write like something absolutely ridiculous for you, and with enough practice just doing it. But it's not got like the feel of, like, you look at like YouTube bassists and they're all funk bassists, and yeah, you're like, yeah, that's not me. You know? But then again, like, if you were to take, I don't know, just like well, the fundamental feel of what I play is folk, goth, doom type stuff, and I am just programmed that way. Basically, I want to do Imperium, I think, if I was to do music properly again. What is it? Is it? Oh, I know. Says. That's it. So bum 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 bum. That was it, wasn't it? While that was going, guitar is going like. Bum, da, 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 da. Oh. Bum, ba, bum, ba, ba. Ba, 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 ba. Oh. Oh, that's going to wind me up. The bass is going. And I think the guitar goes da 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 da. No. Bum 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 bum. Why am I telling you about this? The main riff, the guitar goes. Like the rhythm. It sounds absolutely terrible there. Sorry, I have to go. Da 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 da. Bum ba da bum 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 bum. Bum ba da ba da 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 bum. And while that's going, the bass is like something like. Something like that. It's basically like while the guitar's going like, and then like bass is like going black metal, like, you know? I don't know. You ever have bass in black metal? What are you on about? And then, yeah, it's like... Remember that? That was a Beneath the Light track. Yeah, that was the band I was in at high school. Oh, what was it on? Something like... Oh, there we go. Something like that. And then the guitar, I can't remember where it would be. It'd be like ba 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 ba. So. Bum, 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 bum. It was like wow, bum, 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 bum. It was like that. I've gone off on a massive tangent, haven't I? Oh well, that's my life. Fucking hell. I need to think of some lunch. What do I want for lunch? What do you want for lunch? Do I have time to make a pizza? Do I have any pizzas left? As a general rule, always have a stock of relatively small, single-person frozen pizzas. If you work from home particularly. Because you can't always be fucked to actually make something, can you? I already had toasties for breakfast, you know? What am I going to make? Ugh. That's the thing, innit? I love the way that bass is played when it's not played like a bass. Fucking hell, what a wanker. But yeah. Yeah, have some shoegaze nonsense over that. Fucking hell. What a wanker. Oh my god, I don't have the wrist for it anymore. Oh, that's a really nice bass. It's like a... Oh, it's just some kind of Squire thing. God, covered in dust. Absolutely coated. I need to take the strings off. I need to dust it properly, probably. I've been told repeatedly about having to oil my frets, but I fucking never have. Does anyone clean their guitars? What? Honestly, the internals need fixing on it too. Is like a really tiny margin for error on the volume knob where it just will cut out completely. So that probably needs fixing. But on the whole, you know. Right? I'm trying to think. So yeah, so I talked about Jack Bros, it's fine. I talked about Toshinden, and that's quite good, but like, if you're going to play a game like it, play Bloody Roar 2. You're going to play a game like Jack Bros, play a game that's not on the Virtual Boy. There's loads of twin stick shooters about. Fucking... Ask Scally about it, he'd know. I feel like he'd know. Devil's Crush, really good pinball game. Outrun 20 whatever it is, play regular Outrun. if you want that kind of vibe. Although I'm sure there's loads of indie games now that do it better. That's the thing. I play so much retro stuff, but really, like, the people who make indie games are, like, much better at it now. And plus, you could actually pay someone to do it then, instead of stealing. Fucking blue scale all over the place, fucking hell. Ah, no! Log back in, I'm totally working. Master of the one-handed type. Right. I have talked bollocks at you for half an hour. Fucking hell. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the games I've played lately. Oh, and also, inevitably, talking about fucking Fable again. Right, we're not going to talk about Fable anymore. That's it, we're done. My wife still has post-game stuff to do in Fable 3, but after that I'm going to introduce her to some different fucking games. Actually, if you stuck around this far, how about this for a fucking hot take? Final Fantasy 15 is the lost Fable game. Really is. Like, you think about like how it doesn't really meet up to expectations, but also it's about like fucking rich people just going on their jollies around the world and like helping people a bit, and then at the end it sort of abruptly just ends. Yeah? You know, maybe. No, it has that big old bit where you railroad through loads of different plot bits, aren't you? Where the DLC fits in. Maybe it doesn't work. But I stick to my thesis. It's a fucking Fable game. Right, bye.